Hello beautiful people, my name is Amanda Zitto and welcome back to the How to Plan a Motorcycle Trip series. Today we're going to be talking about the all-important topic of research. Now we know how much time we have to work with and what our budgets are going to look like and what our route is kind of roughly going to look like. Now is the time to get down to the nitty-gritty and do some thorough research about the things around your route. First, we're going to figure out where all of our gas stops are and some backup ones a little bit farther off your route if you end up having to take a detour. I'm not saying that you need to plan every gas stop along your trip, but knowing where the gas stations are is going to help you out a lot. In the same vein as figuring out where all of your gas stops are going to be, you should also look up where all the collision shops are and where all of the motorcycle shops are that are qualified to work on your bike are along your route. This step in your research is not only important, just in case you break down, but also so that you know if there's any big stretches where there aren't a gas station where you need to carry extra fuel. Hint, I almost always carry a little extra fuel with me, even if it's only 20 or 30 ounces. Carrying anything over a half gallon can sometimes be overkill in the United States when you're traveling paved routes, but that's why we do research, so that you know how much gas you're going to need to get between one point and another. Try to always factor in a grain of salt when you're doing this kind of research because Google Maps isn't always the most accurate in portraying gas stations that might have closed in the last 2 years, especially in rural areas. There are a couple gas stations that are listed on Google Maps in Central Oregon that don't actually exist anymore, which is why we always plan backups. I know that we touched a little bit on it in our budgeting video, but we really need to do our research about our lodging situation. If you have decided to hotel it the whole way, do a little bit of research beforehand, but don't go overboard. Do just enough so that you have a really good idea of what most of the hotels are going to cost in the areas that you're going to be visiting. You don't want to get stuck in a tourist town where most of the hotels cost $200 if you can drive, 40 or 50 miles away and get a room for about $80 a night. This is what this step is for. If you're getting really into it, you can star a couple hotels along your route on Google Maps that have good ratings and are within your budget. And when you do, make sure that you star a couple that are a little bit off of your route just in case you need to take a detour because of weather or parts or whatever. This goes in a similar vein that if you're camping, star a couple of options along your route on Google Maps. This way, you don't have to be like, I am getting to this place to camp tonight. And if you get tired early, you can because you have options. If you're somebody who needs to stay at a campground that has showers, do your research very thoroughly because some websites advertise that they have showers and then you get there and they don't work. So make sure that you read the reviews, and if you have the time, call them up and make sure that they aren't under construction. Sometimes you're better off dispersed camping in a national forest, which is often the best option for me. If you don't know what dispersed camping is, I did make a video about that and all of the rules and the ins and outs involved. I'll link that above my head and also down in the description. Just a reminder, all of the resources that I talk about in these videos are linked down in the description. Another option, if you're not quite comfortable dispersed camping yet, is to look up freecampsites.net. Pick out a couple of those options. Have a few backups when you use freecampsites.net. I'm just gonna put that out there. It's not always the most reliable option, but it's a really good place to start. I also made a video listing a lot of other resources for finding free camping. I will also link that down in the description. If you've already planned your route and you know where you're going, take a minute and look at the events that are scheduled to happen while you're going through town. Sometimes you can find really cool things that are happening that you didn't know existed. And if there is some kind of attraction or tour or event that you really want to go see, make sure that you do some research about when those things are open, how much they cost, and if they are closed during some obscure holidays you may not know about. When I was doing research for the pilgrimage, I wrote down the opening and close hours for every single state park and tour and everything that I wanted to visit so that when I got there, I knew that it would be open when I arrived. For those of you who are traveling outside of the country, contact your bank and ask them lots of questions, including, are there fees on my debit card if I use it outside of the US? And just contact them in general. Even if you're traveling inside of the US or the country that you live in, make sure that you let them know that you're traveling so that they don't turn off your debit card when you're 200 miles away from your usual stomping grounds. this has happened to me. If you are planning to travel outside of your home country, make sure that you also ask the question, do I need a visa? And what does my bike need to get into this country? Before I even get any kind of into this topic, I'm going to say that horizonsunlimited.com is going to be an amazing resource for you to do research on this topic in general. They have an amazingly in-depth resource for planning a trip, including information about carnet de passage and other paperwork that you should probably be thinking about. In general, is one of the most valuable resources that we have as motorcycle travelers and is kept up to date by hundreds of other travelers. Make sure that you do very thorough research about what the country you're visiting requires as far as visas, motorcycle insurance, health insurance, if you need a carnet or if you just need a temporary import permit, as well as what you can and cannot bring into their country. For example, when we visited Baja, we did have to purchase Mexican auto insurance because they do not accept US auto insurance if you happen to get pulled over. In general, I highly recommend you Googling quote unquote visit insert country and referring to the official government website as far as what visas you may need or what paperwork you might need for your motorcycle or for yourself. As a part of this stage, I highly encourage you to make copies of all important documents, including registration, insurance, your passport, all of these things, and keep the copies in a separate part of your motorcycle, preferably in a hidden place that's a little bit harder to get to. I also encourage you to scan all these documents and either email them to yourself or download them onto your phone. These kind of redundancies are really important in order to help save you in case of emergencies. Alright guys, I hope that you enjoyed this little snippet in the How to Plan a Motorcycle Trip series. If you have not watched the rest of the series, I will link them up above my head somewhere for you to go and check out. Make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button so you do not miss the next one, which is going to be all about the what if the bike breaks down. I want to give a huge shout out to all of my supporters on Patreon. You guys make these videos possible. I wouldn't be able to do it without you. If you would like to support this channel and get early access to videos like these for as little as $1 a month, you can join my supporters over on Patreon. The links are down in the description. If that's not up your alley, that is totally okay. I also have t-shirts, stickers, all the good things over on my Redbubble shop. Links to that are also down in the description. If that's also not up your alley and you can't do that right now, I totally understand. I appreciate you guys just for watching these videos, and I will see you later. I think this is a record, guys. Like, I just recorded this video in under an hour. That's insane! It normally takes me like 2.5 hours to record a video, so I know this one was kind of short, so I probably shouldn't be patting myself on the back quite yet. But still winning.